Hello everybody, glasses off so I can see you all. Welcome to our fabulous new flower of the month. Now, the flower of the month this time is our fabulous tulip, and it is just gorgeous as always. And as always, you are getting 3 different dies. You're going to get the large one, you're going to get the small one, and you're going to get the Builder Bouquet. So here are the dies. These are just stunning. When you look at what you can actually create with these and the colourways, so remember, drop into the link, drop onto highlightcrafts.com, because there are a lot. I'm going to flick through the colourways for you just so you've got a taster of what is available. Okay, not got all the sizes, but I have got the different colourways because they are exquisite. Now the bouquets and the stuff you're going to be able to create with this, along with also our fundamentals that are the vases and the plant pots and things. Maybe you've still got some of those that are from the past that you've got. This is going to be beautiful because I don't think there's anything more fabulous than a vase full of spring tulips. They're phenomenal. So this is the smaller one. Isn't that lovely? Okay, so we've got it as just a normal cut. Now there's nothing stopping you at all, if this isn't your thing, cutting this out and colouring them in, because the detail that we put into our dies holds your hand when you, we might actually do something where I'm not the best colourist. I'm going to put my hand up. I am not the most phenomenal colourist in the world. It's one of my favourite things to do is to colour, but it's not my forte, not at all like Armel that is phenomenal at it. But I think we ought to do that. We'll do a white cut at some point, maybe the next one. Make a note of that, Andrew. And we'll do a bit of colouring. I'm not talking to nobody. It's the lovely Andrew that's with me as well. So we'll do a little bit of colouring because the detail that we put in the dies makes it so easy to use your, maybe you've got Stephanie's watercolours. These would be beautiful. And don't just cut them out of cardstock. Cut them out of all those incredible mediums that we have, our printable washi tape, our printable stickers. There's so much more that you can actually be doing with these. So that is the small one. So that is the small whole of the tulip. So if I flip that over, that is then the large one. Okay, isn't that stunning? Now when I say about those other things that you've got, your plant pots and your vases and things, aren't these going to look spectacular? But you don't have to use your plant pots and your vases. If you haven't got one, I can absolutely show you how we can use our fundamentals and also a guillotine to create a vessel to actually put these in. Okay, maybe it's a window box, but we will do that. Okay, so that is the larger one. And then we've got the Builder Bouquet. And again, think about using, so obviously if you're going to be using your watercolours that Stephanie's been doing, get your stock up on your watercolour card, because I know there's a phenomenal deal over on highlightcrafts.com. It's a beautiful card stock. It's about 300 GSM. The dies cut it fabulously. So you cutting this out of watercolour and then colouring these in and doing your own watercolours is going to be phenomenal. So that's the whole Builder Bouquet. So you're getting the 3 different buds. I love that we've actually got the stem. Now that means that we really are creating what we want from something. And I know from using the MCS, because remember we've also got the MCS, this stem fits perfectly on here. It's almost like it's been thought about, designed, you know. So that's the Builder Bouquet. And then this is your dies. So that is your larger die. That is your smaller one. And then the Builder Bouquet is done on this Swift system. So on the larger one, we get this split unity, as we call it. The smaller one, we've got a whole matte layer. And then these larger ones are all fastened together, because I can no doubt, if I was to have these as single dies, the first one that will absolutely go missing would be that tiny little stem. And also, when we're doing something like this and we're working with the reflections, it's so much easier to line up and cut out. So we've got some beautiful samples as well. Let me just bring these in. Now, just lovely, lovely, lovely. So we've got our Kath, our DT lady, our Kath does some just phenomenal, just stunning and this is just from the Build a Bouquet. So there's none of the bigger elements in there. That is just solely from the Build a Bouquet. But to balance it by using the cardstock that matches the imagery is fantastic. And adding in that white element really makes these stand out and pop. And then this one has been done with some acetate. Look at that. So we can see through here, and it's almost like it's a floating bouquet. And our lovely Brenda has done these for us. Isn't that lovely? And again, matching it in with the colourways and the hues that go along with the florals. And this is a little sneaky peek of the other colours that you can get. So let me just quickly, I've got more to show you, but let me just quickly show you here. I've printed these out because I think it's important for you to be able to see. Look at these that we've got. So we've got the blues flicking through to the yellow, then onto that lovely, almost like an orangey colour. Then we've got the lovely sunset, back to the pink. We've got the white, the darker colours. And then again, we've got the same thing again. So we've got a lovely blue, yellow, lovely orange, back through to the sunset, lovely pink and the white, and then to the darker colours. So this is just fabulous. So if you are wanting those extra downloads, that is a sample of the colourways that you're going to be able to use. Now, let's make a card. Sorry, that sounded a bit loud. Have you noticed anything? Just a little mention. I'm just going to, just a little something new coming our way. So here we have, this is how I store my cards. Okay, and we've got an oval. In fact, I'm going to get some more of these out just so I can show you. Right, first of all, if we're thinking about doing a window box, mat and layer some of these up, use your guillotine and snip into these, and it's a window box. That isn't a special die, it is just a foundation die, okay? Just a rectangle. On one of these, your actual oval, cut an oval, cut it in half, turn one upside down. One is the base, one is the top. That's an urn. Or you can then cut out a window box again, or a smaller one, but that's better if you use the square. So let me find the square. Cut out a square, cut out an oval, sit one inside the other, and you've actually got one of the saucers in the bottom, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean, those planters on your patio. So using all of your foundations that you've got, you can create receptacles to actually put your fabulous flowers in. And then one of the really good ones that you can use is your tag shapes, okay? Now, I know we have got foundation dies, fundamentals on our website for you to actually go in and have a look at. So these, cut one, chop it off, it gives you a beautiful vase shape, even if you make them taller, to then use them as vessels to put all your flowers in. So, moving on. Let's make our first card. I've chosen some colourways to go with the lilac hues that I'm going to be using. So I've been in the Highlight Craft HQ cupboard and had a little bit of a raid through there. So one of the things that I actually like doing is an over the edge card, and you can do these over the edge cards in multiple different ways. Now, to start off with, all I'm going to do, I'm not measuring. Okay, I've just folded it over. Let me get some of my glues and things out of here, because I do. Anybody else got a little caddy like this that's full of all your trinkety trinks? Need those. They're now on the floor. This is what I'm looking for. I need my bone folder. I'll get them in a minute. So I'm going to reinforce that score line first of all, okay? No measuring at this point. I'm now going to choose the shape of the over the edge that I want to work with. Now, I know I want to work with an oval. Ovals work really well with rectangles. Circles work really well with squares. There is no law or anything to say that you can't use them differently, but that's just how I like to work with them. I'm going to take some of this off. so it makes it that I am working with something that's more of a rectangle. Okay, and I do know that I want to work with, when I find them, my ovals. And this is how I like to store everything that I use. I have them all on a magnetic shim and I keep them in the packaging, and then they go in the wallets as well. So when I come to need to use one, I've got access to what I need. So I'm going to go with the larger ones. I need my tweezers so I can actually get these off of here. I don't want my biggest. I'm going to go with that one. And that one. Okay, pop them to one side. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do mats and layers on here, but I'm going to use that over the edge die. And on my top layer, I'm going to go into an oval and I'm going to use my over the edge die. So one thing that I do need to check is how big is that die. So when you chop it into it, okay, when you think of this, so this is the die I'm using, I'll bring it in. Now, don't measure it and go, oh yeah, that's going to fit. Because when you actually cut these, you cut blade side down. So you need to measure the reverse side, okay? Because when you cut this over the edge and then you place your actual piece inside, where are they? Here they are. Let me show you, because I might not be making much sense without showing you. If I think this way, I think, oh yeah, that's the over the edge, I'll cut that way. When I cut it, it's actually the outline for the left-hand side, not the right-hand side. So I need to make sure I'm using the right side of the die, first of all, because it's really easy to not use the right side of the die. And I'm going to need to use the bigger die. So I'm going to go with, I'm going to take that small one out because that doesn't work. That only just. Okay, I'm going to leave that one in. Put that one away. And take the next biggest one out because I do want 3 layers. Happy days. I'm all right with that now. I know where I'm going. So what we're now going to do is start making. Now it's super easy. I've got my 3 layers of card. Which layer do I want on top? No, I do want that one on top. And to save on time, one, I think I've got several layers there. I thought I had. I thought that felt like it was a little bit thick cardstock. Go. Like so. So now I can put 2 of my shapes on in one go. I just need to know that's my back one, so that's the biggest layer. That's my middle one, and that's my front one. So I'm going to choose the dies. That's my biggest mat. That's my middle one, and that's that one. So now I know I'm not going to get them mixed up. And this is how I would normally work with it. Flip that over. Put that on there. Flip that over. Put that on there. And run that through. And that's my 2 matte layers for the front of my card. Now, I have been playing a little bit with Minecraft Studio, and I absolutely adore the program. The more I use it, the more I find myself thinking, oh, I could actually make myself a background. I could actually do this. I could actually, also doing my own sentiments, and I'm finding it really my go-to for that kind of thing. So rather than mess and take all that off, put that on there, flip that over, put that on there. Send that one through. And while that one's going through, I can dismantle these. Okay, I want that one. that one. So those are my mats and layers. Like so. Okay, my card blank has been buried amongst all of this already. There we go. So now I'm going to put some in the background as well. But that is now going to sit on the front. So I now need to bring my over the edge card, my over the edge die in. That is going to sit roughly there. But a top tip for you is if you're not sure about how to lay it down, bring in everything else. Okay, so I know I want my flower about there. That's that over the edge. And that is that part of the split unity over the edge. How do I want my flower to sit? I want it to sit there. I can move that away. So if you're struggling with aligning it, use your other dies and bring those in so it helps with that alignment. I'm going to pop that back on there, run that back through, a little bit of decoupage, and we need to do the mats in the background. Now I'm going to do the same colourway. So I'm still going to go mirrory, pink and purple. You just take that off of there. Take that away from there. Ooh, I want to be careful that I don't tear my cardstock. So that is my over the edge. Now I've got a little bit here that's a tiny little snip. Glasses on. Snip there. And snip there. That's my over the edge piece. I'm going to keep that because that's another over the edge but the opposite way if I ever needed it. Bring this back in. Sit this on here. So you don't have to do as in what it suggests over the edge. Doesn't have to be this part of your card. You can use it for creating over the edge on your toppers as well, because that makes it very, very different because there's a striking contrast between the two and all the focus is then just on the flower. So that's where we're going with it. Now I have got my mirrory, and as some of you may have watched me before, you know I'm not really good about all the measuring. I do need to line that up. So that edge, did I do that? Oh, we're all good. On there, take that off. Next one is still the pink. Pop that in the middle. Make a little mark. I kind of know where it is. There. You know, if I cut it smaller, it really doesn't matter because you know what it does is make my border bigger. Mirror that one on top, so that's cut smaller anyway. Pop that there. And then a bit of, oops, wet glue. That's my first one. Put that on there. And then this is a flat mat in the back. Now, one of the reasons I've chosen to build up the layers at the back is the weight of the cardstock at the back, because I'm doing an over the edge and I'm bringing this forward and it's going to be in here. What I don't want to happen is have too much at the front that the card's going to tip over. That's why I've added some extra at the back. Okay, now I want a little bit of something happening down the side. This is going to be matted on flat, And I now need to position. So these are my first ones I'm working with. Mat and layer these. Like so. This is having foam. Yes, I did. I had a momentary panic then because I thought I'd left my tape on the other desk. But I was more organised than I thought I was. Do you ever find that sometimes? You surprise yourself and you think, hang on a minute, I don't remember bringing that in, but I must have. This is going on here. Again, glasses on, so I aligned that properly. I did use a little bit of wet glue there as well because it's an oval. Sometimes ovals are a little bit tricky to get that bend, that oval edge lined up. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to stick this first one in place just with a little bit of tape. Snip into this. And as you can see, I'm using lots of different mediums again, as always. I've got tape, I've got my normal wet glue, I'm using my 3D glue gel, I've got my finger lift tape going on. All sorts are happening in the background. And those are your belts and braces, do they call it? When you're actually creating something like that. That's going to sit beautifully to that edge. Got foam tape, and now I want to raise this up a little bit, but I want it a bit, I'm going to curve it. May not describe this very well, but I'm going to put a piece of tape here. That will lift that edge, so I can now tuck in and put my flowers around the edge, okay? This piece here is going to be flat, so it's going to give me the ability to be able to tuck in. I'm going to wet glue, maybe a little bit more, like so. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, fabulous. And again, like I said, you're over the edge. Don't just use it for just an over the edge die. And I'm going to snip into some of the foliage like this, because we're going to keep all of this. I just wanted that stem to take that stem away. Nope. Do not use your best scissors for your tape. And then I've got a little piece cut there that I can use on that side. I had two pieces there, and this, it's on the back of the scissors, of course it is. So now I can add a little bit of decoupage on this here. I can use the leaves as extra, but I'm going to use wet glue at the base. Like so, and I'm just going to hold that because I want that to stick. And then I've got a set of small leaves, or I've been working with the boards. I've got the small leaves and I've saved those, and I've also got some flower heads here. So those small leaves, I'm not putting glue on all of it. That, and also it's the opposite, so I can, in fact, let me cut some of that away. Ooh, I'm not touching that because it's got glue. There. Pretend that's not there. Again. Glue. Slide that. In fact, just, yeah, I can have it on top because that doesn't really matter. Like so. And now we can fill in, because I want greenery and etc. on this edge. So I'm going to use a little bit of cardstock, because I know if I put any glue on this new mat that is gradually disappearing, because I'm filling it all up with lots of other stuff. He'll shout at me for getting glue on his new mat, and I don't want that. And again, over, under, under, over, as you've always seen me do. Different scissors. Like so. A little bit more greenery. And then I really like this leaf, but I like to chop it down to be able to tuck it in. And then obviously at home, you could go really to town on the embellishment on this side. Lift that up, tuck that in. I want the other flower, there we go. And I've got a few different colourways going on in here as well, because I've thought, you know what, I'll pick up what is there and I'm not going to worry whether I've got the right colour or not, because tulips in the tulip fields, which one day I am going to go and visit and see, are spectacular. So again, this one, I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm using both pieces. So I want a piece tucked in like so, and I'm just going to turn that one over and tuck that one in as well. So I've used one leaf in two places. So you could go on and put a lot more of those flowers all the way around, but you get the idea of where we're going with that. But that is just another way. That's using our fabulous dies and creating this lovely over the edge, but it's not an over the edge, it's still within the actual card topper. So that's one way of using that. And then we've got a little bit more inspiration now. Just by using a piece of cardstock, again, this is our lovely calf, and folding it and making that fabulous bouquet, we've got a beautiful wrapped bouquet of flowers. And then she's gone on to use acetate, but this is construction acetate, and again, that's all on our website on Highlight Crafts, to then create an easel for it to actually sit onto, which is beautiful. And then this one is just lovely. So we have to open this as a box. So using, again, like I've just used the over the edge there, both over the edge in different direction have used on this one. And then when you open it, it creates that gatefold to open up. And then again, using nested dies and foundation dies, fundamentals, we've got this lovely windowsill going on. Just tuck that back inside. Isn't that beautiful? So that is then creating, again, using those split unity dies, has created a fabulous one. So thank you very much for joining me for the die collection of our fabulous tulips, tulips flower of the month. Sorry, everybody. And remember, if you're wanting those extra colourways, drop onto Highlight Crafts because they're all there for you to download in all 3 dies. There's lots on there also. Maybe you're wanting to get some construction acetate, or you wanting to choose different mediums to print on to change your creativity and your projects. Always give us a thumbs up, like and follow, and we'll see you all again real soon. You take care. Bye-bye.
If you want to see more from Highlight Crafts, make sure you click the like button, subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below, and click the bell icon to receive notifications of all of our future content. You can also click here to see our latest video, or click here to see more videos like this one.